been tagged and I'm gonna do my best to answer the call. Anyway, this is another one of those for life videos, but I think it's kind of cool. What would I choose for my top 10 cheapies for life that are fragrances under the $30 to $35 mark? If I could only have 10 for the rest of my life, what would they be? If you want to find out, stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? My name is Joshua, and this is our channel, ScentSense. To the loyal subscribers and the people who continue to check out this channel all the time, to you people who continue to help us grow, I say thank you so much. And to you new people who are maybe thinking, I'd like to maybe join the crew, and you haven't, made up your mind, quit hiding like old Jong-un over there in Korea. Show your face. You're welcomed here. It's a good and loving zone. I'm not gonna do these in any particular order because at the end of the day, if I choose 10 for life, that means these are the top 10 for life. And at that point, I'm exhausted with trying to rank them. So I'm just gonna grab them and let you know what I think about them. Starting off with a bang is a fragrance that's gonna make a lot of lists, especially in this time of year, from the house of Nautica, Nautica Voyage. Do you guys say Nautica or Nautica? I don't know why, but Nautica just seems to come out naturally. Maybe it's Nautica, I don't know. Nautica Voyage is an easy to grab, easy to wear, super cheap, super affordable, super approachable, cucumber melony vibey kind of oceanic fragrance. This is gonna remind you, if you're of my age or older, that craze that happened in the 90s and the 2000s where people just loved the smell of cucumber melon. Think watery, crisp cucumber with some aqua notes in there. This is just gonna work. It just does, and it smells so synthetic, but it still smells so good. If you could somehow get your hand on an old bottle with the metal cap, kudos to you. Mine's plastic with the silver look on it, but this right here, it's a good one. Starting off the list on the right foot, Nautica Voyage. Next up is a fragrance that I find is unique, and I like fragrances that are unique, and I also like the fact that this fragrance kind of gives me a more mature vibe. I think this is something that I would wear if I wanted to feel more adult-like and not so, juvenile like a lot of fragrances, especially fresh and cheap fragrances are. From the house of Calvin Klein, yes, a cheap house, Euphoria for men. The female counterpart to this fragrance is a lot more popular. This one tends to fall back in the limelight, but this is one that I just really, really enjoy. Think slightly woodsy or slightly, I don't want to say smoky, but just really, much thicker than your average fresh smelling fragrance. This is something I would wear if I were to wear like a button-down shirt and a nice pair of pants, and I was going to like maybe a business meeting, or maybe I was going to like, my daughter's having a recital or something, or the school's got some kind of play. This is something I would wear if I want to feel grown. So if you're a younger guy and you want to have at least one or two nice, dressy, classy fragrances, even at a cheap price, or you're an older gentleman and you want an everyday driver, easy choice. From the house of Calvin Klein, Euphoria. Keeping with the classy vibe, a super smoky-ish, kind of tobacco-like fragrance from the house of Banana Republic. It's an overlooked fragrance, and I think if you haven't smelled it, you definitely should. It's a great hidden gem. Like I said, from the house of Banana Republic, Black Walnut. Black Walnut is super suave, sophisticated, guy with a beard, linen button-down white shirt, smoking pipe tobacco, and a nice, ancient, well-kept, well-oiled leather chair at like a humidor. This is class in a bottle. If I were to take this fragrance and put it in a different packaging and tell you it's some brand new niche fragrance that's like the hottest thing ever, people would buy it in droves. But the fact that it says Banana Republic on it and the fact that it's super cheap, people always, tend to put their nose up at something. But sometimes you get great stuff in a cheap package, and this is one of those fragrances. Smoky, spicy, mature, Banana Republic's Black Walnut. Next up is the only celebrity fragrance on this list, And this one is without a doubt a super hidden gem and one that definitely does not get enough attention. This is the greatest alternative that I found to Dolce & Gabbana's The One EDP. And in some cases, this is pretty close, if not better in some aspects. From the house of Rihanna Rogue Man. This is a small bottle. I think I got this for $6. And the story behind it is kind of funny. I bought it to get free shipping from FragranceNet because the shipping was going to be like $7, but I bought this for $6 and the shipping was free. So essentially it was free. The bottle's kind of cool. It's got the Rihanna R on the top. It's got this faux leather. It's glass. It's got this really cool, like, you know, pointy bottom coming up. It raises. You know, you can kind of fit your fingers in it. Enough about the bottle because, I mean, they're cheap. Who cares? But as far as scent characteristic, think sexy date night. Think Dolce & Gabbana's The One. I mean, this is pretty darn close. This is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like 8 out of 10, almost 9 out of 10, close to Dolce & Gabbana's The One. But I think in some aspects, this amps up the sweetness and it kind of lasts longer. And for the price, I mean, I got this for $7. Not 10, 7. You can't even get a quarter pounder with fries and a drink from that price. So if you're looking for something that's a great blind buy, like add to your cart because you're buying fragrances and you just want to have something exciting to open and you want to laugh about it, but then you find out it's really good and so you feel dumb for laughing about it. From the house, loosely, the house of Rihanna Rogue Man. Next up is a fragrance that's getting a lot of buzz and it is sold out at FragranceNet the last time I looked, so I couldn't get a verification on the price, but I know the last time I looked before that, it was in the 30s for, I think, a 1.7, so I think it counts. From the house of Azzaro, Chrome Aqua. As I mentioned in other videos, take everything that was wrong with Chrome that wouldn't work in today's day and age, the sharpness, the metallicness, the super rigid, burn your nose almost kind of notes. Take all that out, smooth it out, throw some aquatic notes in it, some fresh notes, some vibrant notes, some blue notes, and that's what you get with this bad boy right here. This is easily one of the most overlooked fragrances. A lot of them you're gonna see on this list are overlooked cheapies. No, I don't have Perry Ellis 360 Red. No, I don't have, you know, a lot of those ones that everybody, the Mont Blanc Individuals, the one that everybody talks about when it comes to cheapies. But I definitely have this one, and I think that this one is worth your attention. This is something that I'll definitely be rocking this summer. It's actually gonna be on my summer top 10 list. I don't know if I released that video before you're seeing this one, but if I did, it'll be up here. If not, well, it's coming out soon. From the house of Azzaro, Azzaro Chrome Aqua. This up is a fragrance that I can never quite put my finger on exactly what they were going for with this one. I just know that I really enjoy it. From a fragrance house that makes a lot of great cheapies. From the house of Lacoste Lone. All you people who are always hearing Lone in a fragrance name, that means man. That's it. So this is Lacoste Man. This is a fragrance that blends a lot of things from a lot of worlds. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. It's got a little bit of a freshness to it. And it also has a little depth to it, a little spiciness to it. It's kind of a little all over the place, but kind of all well put together, all at the same time. This is definitely one that I think has been talked about recently. I think Dallas over at the channel Chaos Fragrance has mentioned it. It's definitely, he's right, it's definitely one that you should definitely pay attention to. It's a really great, underrated gem. I think that anybody who has a few extra dollars to spend and you just want to buy a bunch of cheapies out of fun, you should add this to the cart. Definitely, you should add to the cart regardless. From the house of Lacoste, Lacoste Lone. Started to get close to the end of the list, but we got to go ahead and go back to the olden days, back to the days when things were much simpler and there wasn't any internet. And if there was internet, it had just started and it was dial-up and it sounded like... Yeah, I know, aggravating, right? It was aggravating back then. It was also aggravating when your mom would pick up the phone when you were trying to chat with that hot girl on AOL Instant Messenger and she picked up the phone, which canceled your freaking internet connection. It was crap. After that segue, let's just jump right into it. From the house of Tommy Hilfiger, Tommy. Tommy was one of those fragrances that made fresh seemed so cool at the time. This is something that every guy who was like trying to get the girls would wear, man. This was something you would smell all the time, all over the place. And now it's so cheap that it seems to just not get any play. And it's so old that some people think it feels kind of out of place. I definitely think that this fragrance would work in today's day and age. Think fresh, summertime, high school kind of vibes, but definitely would work in the college age bracket. I think maybe the early to mid 30s would also work. I think anybody could really wear this. I think this is something that somebody who's going to church could wear. That fresh fragrance, you know, that guy who's walking through the church and you're like, man, that dude smells really good. And you have no idea what he's wearing. He's probably wearing Tommy. And he's not gonna tell you because he wants to smell unique. And you think it's really cool. And you're like, I've got to get my hands on it. And all the while, it's this super cheap fragrance from the 90s. So again, from the house of Tommy Hilfiger, Tommy. So next up is a fragrance that's aptly named because it just makes me happy. From the house of Clinique, the makeup brand, Clinique Happy for Men. I've mentioned this recently in a couple videos. Think synthetic orange. This is just bright and fizzy. Oh, and just clean. This is just effortlessly clean. This is something that when I smell it, I just think clean. I think fresh, pressed, button down, sharp looking shirt, clean. You know, just right early in the morning, it's still 68, 70 degrees. You've got the sunlight coming through the window. You've got the window up where the air's coming through the screen. It's just fresh and relaxing. You're sitting in the shade on a swing. I know this is so much, but that's what I get from this, man, because that's what it was for me back in the day. And this was one of my go-to high school scents because everyone else was wearing ADG and I just didn't want to smell like everybody else. And I was unique, but yet super synthetic, but nobody knew the difference because back then fragrances weren't really a thing. They were just something you bought to smell good. Now, it's a whole new world. The second to last fragrance we're going to mention today from the house of Clinique, Clinique Happy for Men. Rounding out the list is a fragrance that I feel that I kind of put on the map, and it's a fragrance that I think is quite often overlooked, especially for a lot of other fragrances that highlight this note. Cali Sense knows I love this fragrance note, and it's one of the best fragrance notes in the book, in my opinion. The note is fig, and the fragrance is Banana Republic's Vintage Green. Vintage Green is exactly as it sounds. Think green, think yummy, clean, fresh, vibrant fig. This is much higher quality juice than this bottle demands because Banana Republic, let's face it, is a clothing store that sells cheaper fragrances, but they've really stepped up their efforts with the Icon collection. They dropped the years now. They just got, you know, the fragrances are just named after what they smell like. But this was one of the very first ones that they've released from the line, the year line, and I think this one's better than all the other ones. It's better than Neroli Woods. It's better than Linen Vetiver. It's better than Black Platinum, which was garbage. It's better than Oud Mosaic. This is the one right here. And in my opinion, everybody should at least experience this fragrance. And if you experience this fragrance and you don't think it's worth $25 and you don't buy it because you don't have $25, fine. But if you have $25 and you don't buy it, there's something wrong with you because this is just good. There's nothing wrong with it. Finishing off my top 10 cheapies for life list is the godfather of this channel, the very first fragrance I ever reviewed, Banana Republic's Vintage Green. Well, you made it through this video and I want to thank you so much. So let's get the comment section rolling. What are some cheap fragrances you feel should have made the list? And no, not just the Perry Ellis 360 Reds of the world or the Mont Blanc individuals. Ones that you feel are super great that maybe other people don't know about. And now's the time that I go ahead and tag other reviewers, people that I think will actually do this. And I'm going to tag 4 people. 2 that I know for sure will do it. 1 who's a smaller up-and-coming channel, and then of course, 1 wild card. The 2 channels that I'm gonna go ahead and tag, heck, let's make it 3. I'm not even sure the 3rd person even has 10 cheapies because he's such a baller, but at the end of the day, he's a cool dude and he's a buddy of mine. So Buck, over at the channel Big Beard Business, you've been tagged. Moving along across the pond, I'm gonna go ahead and tag 2 more people. You know what? Scrap the whole number of people. I'm just tagging along. You know what? Let's just keep tagging and spread the love. I'm gonna tag 2 people from the UK. I'm gonna tag George over at the channel The Fragrance Apprentice, and I'm also gonna tag Chris over at the channel FRAGMENTAL. Last person I'm gonna tag that I think will definitely do this because he's just a cool broski, and I feel like he'll do it since I asked him to, you know? Over at the channel GENTS is my buddy Ashton. Ashton, you've got the massive collection. I need you to trim it down to just 10 fragrances, and they have to be cheapies. So harken back to those old videos you made back in the day with the little podium and, you know, the not so great quality, and let us hear what are 10 fragrances that are cheapies that you would keep for life. I'd also like to tag a smaller channel that I think deserves a whole lot more love than he's receiving. He deserves well more than 1,000 subscribers. The fact that he hasn't, you know, eclipsed that yet with the quality that he's putting forth, how majestic his beard is, and just how much of a cool guy he is. I'm gonna go ahead and tag the guy over at the channel 5280 Scents. It's a great channel. You should go check it out and show him some love. You've been tagged, bro. Last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and tag my wild card. Somebody that I think is the quintessential top 10 video guy in the fragrance game. This guy puts out a ton of videos, and I would just be really curious as to what 10 he would choose. So Dallas over at the channel Chaos Fragrance, you've also been tagged. Let me know, what are your top 10 cheapies for life? All right, man, if you made it to this point of the video, that lets me know you probably enjoy the content. And if you do, why don't you just go ahead and like the video? That lets me know you liked it. And why don't you consider subscribing? And if you do, click the notification bell. That way when my videos come out, you will be the first to know. And as always, and most importantly and vital, I will smell you later. Peace.